Hi guys, welcome to this let's play or let's try of Dead Age, a zombie survival game. So it's basically one of the tens or hundreds of games in this type you can find on Steam. This game is pretty cheap right now. You can get it for $4 or $5 or euros. And the reason I bought this game is that it actually has turn-based combat, which I think is pretty rare in this genre. I already played a few games and they all ended fairly quickly. So let's start a new game. Now you have different character types available. On this profile, it's a new profile, I only have the student, so no talents, no equipment. And if you progress in the game, let's say this playthrough ends after 5 days, you will get points, upgrades. So your next playthrough, let's say you will have more close combat capabilities, or more range combat, whatever. There is a prologue, which is basically the introduction. Let's maybe play through that first. You can also choose casual mode, so the health and power of opponents is significantly smaller, ideal for casual survival sessions. If there is such a thing as a casual survival session. A hardcore mode, it's tempting, enemies become generally stronger, high chance of dying, upgrades are crucial. So this is basically only a smart idea when you have some of the upgrades enabled. So let's go for the normal difficulty. Seemed harmless at first. Scattered individuals were reporting gaps in memory, followed later by exorbitant highs of adrenaline. Scientists were baffled and were unable to find an effective treatment. The zombie infestation spread quickly. The outbreak raged across the country and plunged the entire American continent into chaos. Governments and science failed to contain it. Now all that matters is fighting to survive. Let your tired gaze wander along the horizon. It is lined with scattered plumes of smoke in the distance. You strain to digest the events of the last few hours. And Jack is looking for Lily. You look around frantically, but there's no sign of your sister. Not much time could have passed since the accident. You were thrown from your car and lost consciousness at the side of the road. I have to find her, she can't be far. The country road is littered with empty cars, no sign of any people until you spot two still figures in one of the more distant cars. Well, it's probably not Lily. A grisly figure is approaching you. You have seen its kind too often in just the last few hours. In the rampant chaos of people screaming and climbing over each other, you saw several of them amidst the confusion. The horrific vagrant lopes slowly and with little coordination. Your adrenaline and pulse race. Feeling the onset of panic, you tear at your backpack to open it. So this is basically the introduction. You have some information about the area where you are fighting, what you can find, old clothing, old weapon parts and bandages. And the enemy, unsteady vagrant level 3, that's actually a nasty enemy I guess. Missions, find Lily. Let's check the inventory of Jack. And let's prepare for combat with a club. Not the greatest of weapons, but it will have to do I guess. The undead figure approaches slowly. Just a few hours ago you watched one of these creatures tear your brother apart. Not even a minute later your brother opened his eyes. He had changed into one of these things. So stats and skills. Melee damage. I think I want to develop Jack as a melee fighter slash medic. Kind of the same character I used in Dead State. It was this very same club you used to ward off what your brother had become. Remnants of flesh and blood still mark the spot where you caved in his head. So this is the combat screen. I like the presentation. You don't see this too often, I think, in a turn-based game. A 3D presentation of the combat area. Right now we only have a melee weapon and no other skills are available, so zombies can be tough, as you have recently experienced. This one could severely injure or even kill you. You remember that you have another weapon in your pack. Probably should have thought about that earlier. It's a Glock. Let's equip it. Does a little bit more damage, not a lot though. Let's get the ammunition. Well, range damage is significantly higher actually. Still, I want Jack to be a melee character. Ammunition will be scarce. And you can change gear during combat, but it will cost an action point. Let's get some information on this enemy. An unsteady vagrant. Can do severe damage with dual claws and can actually poison you with spit. And with immunity he becomes immune to KO and stump effects. Alright, let's take a shot. Good shot. Yeah, each shot requires ammunition, and ammunition, as said, is probably scarce. At least we found a bloody undershirt. But the shot has attracted other undead. Let's prepare and let's equip the bloodstained shirt, which will give us minimal protection. Minimal is better than nothing. But Jack is not in a good condition, weak, only a few bullets remaining. And facing 3 enemies. 2 bitten pedestrians and 1 unsteady vagrant. And the bitten pedestrian is relatively weak when alone, but in company of other undead is granted additional strength. Strength is 16 on this guy. And also on this guy. And he can use Coward's Resort if he is stunned to deal critical damage. Let's take a shot at a bitten pedestrian. And help is on the way. Sheriff. Nice shot. The armed stranger radiates an inner calm. The sheriff's uniform gives you the hope of having found an ally in this apocalypse. You should come with me. I could use another good man. Thank you, but I'm looking for my sister. She disappeared. Are you sure she's alive? The last few hours have seen more death than any other event in history. She has to be. She's tough. I lost consciousness and just woke up. No sign of her. Well, there's no driving on this road with all the abandoned cars blocking it. I'll walk along the road with you and help you look. Take some ammo and a medkit. By the way, what's your name? And Jack, being a student, hasn't really provided him with the experience to help navigate this mess. And he is neither properly equipped nor ready to face the apocalypse. Name's Jack, where are we going? Well, we got a camp not far from here. You can rest up and get your bearings, Jack. You decide to use your new medkit. Sure. Again, this is limited. Only carry a finite amount of medkits and they are probably scarce. Let's use the large medkit and let's equip the ammunition and the shirt. This shirt actually increases our strength. That's magical. Strength right now is 30. And with this shirt it is 32. Good enough. Let's fight a undead nurse. And you must know your foe before it can be killed efficiently. Nurse still full of some muscle memory and instincts and can heal other undead. So nurse, a priority target. Can probably kill it with a single shot. Well, just critical hit. Let's maybe save ammo. Rounds remain. Well, let's take a shot. Ineffective. Ineffective. Well, I was counting on a kill there. And level up. There are combat skills and job skills. I think we should focus on combat skills in the beginning. And seeing that ammo is pretty scarce, let's concentrate on melee. This will give us breakthrough. Solid hit reduces the defenses of the target by 75% for 2 rounds. And more armor, a cap. And we also find a crate. It might be booby-trapped. And the cunning skill is used. So sheriff, try to open it. And we found some materials. Keep an eye on that, Jack. Money is worth nothing. Materials are the new currency. We can use them to trade. And we are leaving the highway and start trekking through the woods. Luckily the undead are few and far apart. And when one appears, the sheriff makes quick work of it. You hang in there, we'll be there soon. Still no sign of my sister, where could she be? Well, with luck she is with the survivors that set up nearby. She might also have found our camp. You can rest up there. And we are at the camp. Great, but the campfire on the way must have drawn a horde. And when a horde appears, you sometimes have to face several waves of undead. So these encounters are more challenging, but also give you greater rewards. Protect the camp, don't let them through the gate. Well, how are we supposed to do that? There are so many, but luckily we have some help. Here's Trish. Good timing. Trish has advanced skills, but to use some advanced skills you need 2 action points. Action points are generated every round, alright. And complex skills require APs, so simple skills do not require APs. That's what I get from this. Let's use the skill Combat Readiness, raises defense and increases AP. Alright. Combat Readiness on Trish. Jack can take out the pedestrian with a melee attack. Trish can now use the burning volley. She has an assault rifle and burning volley. What does that do? Can we get information on that? A volley of 5 shots has a 50% chance to cause bleeding, and on critical hits that is 100%. All enemies, well, there is only one enemy here, so that's a lot of damage. Thank you very much. Second wave, and with shock, Jack beholds his enemy. Under the long and tangled hair lies the blood-soaked face of his sister. She didn't make it. So we found Lily, but she is a undead. Trish can use burning volley. Jack loses consciousness. In this state you are unable to react. Luckily Trish can ease your pain with the skill First Aid. This skill can only be used if you have a medical syringe. Good shot. Jack is pretty vulnerable, and Lily, can we get information on her? Level 6, formidable enemy. First Aid on Jack. Wow, critical hit. Nasty. Hang in there, guys. Nearly there. Jack, meanwhile, is poisoned. Let's use Breakthrough on the Vagrant. Reduce defenses. Can we actually use First Aid? Yes. Good shot. And we defended the camp and we found some tools. Yes, it's a survival game, so it saves at the beginning of each day. Manually saving during a day is not possible. Waking, you wake up to see Trish sitting at the edge of your bed, watching you with sympathy. But, well, you don't want to talk about your loss, just want to get back to helping the camp. on, Jack, we need new weapons. Come and find me in the cantina and we can talk about the details. That reminds me, I could use your help today. We found another survivor. The sheriff is on patrol with Liz. You should go and pick them up. Find Sheriff and Liz on the highway at night by yourself. That sounds dangerous. Highway at night and only Jack available. Yeah, that sounds pretty dangerous. And with that, the prologue ends and we are in our camp trying to survive. Probably make a cut here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.